So what can you tell us about what's coming up next season?
So much stuff. We pick up 10 seconds after season 5, so the loss of Nora is very fresh and raw for Team Flash. Barry and Iris are struggling to deal with that in the proper way, to grieve and move forward in a way so that they can, get back to being Team Flash and ultimately deal with the crisis on Infinite Earths, which is coming for our crossover.
Did you enjoy the fact that they actually were able to resolve the Nora and Iris relationship instead of just letting it just linger through the whole time?
Absolutely. I mean, I'd never wanted to see that play out for too long. I think there's so many complexities there. I think, Iris being a mother, not really having a great mother relationship, I didn't want to see her repeat that with her own daughter. I think seeing 2 women of color on screen, I didn't want to have too much tension there for too long. I have a great relationship with my mother. I know a lot of Black women do, and so I really wanted that relationship to be expressed on screen in a healthy way. And so I'm glad we finally got there. And I'm glad we didn't delve too long into the animosity between Iris and Nora.
So now that Nora is gone, I feel like in the past when something tragic has happened to Iris, she tends to kind of withdraw a little bit and deep dive into something else. So when Barry disappeared, she deep dived into Team Flash. Is she going to get to sit with this kind of grief, or is she going to deep dive into Central City Citizen? Or
I think there's a deep dive for both Barry and Iris. I think they both, deal with grief in their own way, and they both, resort to getting to work. Because there's always some mess happening in Central City, and it's such an easy distraction to go to that. And that's what we kind of get into episode 1 is, they both realize that they're going about it in the wrong way, trying to push this stuff to the side, and they realize they really have to be there for each other and grieve together in order to move on and move forward.
How much will we be seeing Iris building the citizen, investigating and journalisting?
A lot more, I hope. That's what I've been told. We'll see. I've been told a lot of things in the past, so I don't, I have trust issues. But I've been talking about it for a long time. It's something I've wanted as an actress for this character. We have a new showrunner, Eric, who also, loves the character Iris West and wants to see that happen. And so we're really moving into that this season. We see her hire new employees for the Citizen. We see her kind of moving towards that Pulitzer Prize winning journalist that we know and love in the comics, which I think everyone has been waiting for. I was saying earlier, I don't know how long this show will go. I have no idea. And I just didn't want it to end without us having that iconic reporter that we know from the comics. I think it would have been a huge missed opportunity.
speaking of reporting, we know that the crisis is coming. Is Iris going to get to be really involved in that? Is she going to do reporting on it, or how is she going to be involved?
I have no idea. I've talked to Eric a little bit. The conversation has just been like, how do you feel about being involved in the crossovers this year? Is that something you'd be up for? Would you want to do it? How much of it would you want to do? So I don't know what that looks like, what their intentions are for me to be a part of the crossovers, but the conversation has started. You know, I really appreciate him coming to me and asking me if I'd like to be a part of it. And I think we can figure something out, make something work that's going to be interesting and make sense for my character.
We know the date on the article has changed. How is Iris dealing with that?
We deal with that very, very early in the first episode. Barry and Iris both will, come to terms with the fact that the date has changed. They'll obviously have to deal with telling the rest of Team Flash. It's an emotional one, definitely an emotional scene, really, really good one. It sets up the rest of the first half of the season. Is this happening sooner than we thought? So it's a good one.
Does losing Nora affects the dynamic between Barry and Iris?
Ish. I mean, I think the great thing about Barry and Iris, they are steadfast, and I think they are both committed to their marriage, and no matter what, want to see it work. Obviously, this is a huge bump in the road, and grief is no easy thing to get over in a marriage, losing a child, and so they definitely struggle, but I think the common thread is that they want to struggle together.
All right, last question.
Are there any more characters that you can interact on the show besides just having West LA, route?
Yeah, well, Jesse's back, and he's going to be more involved this season. I still want to get back to more father-daughter stuff.
Why don't I come back?
I feel like I haven't worked with Carlos in a very long time. I love the moments on the show in the past seasons where I've gotten to have humor and find my own like comedic voice. And I really get to do that with characters like Carlos, Tom, Hartley. And so I'm always looking to do more scenes with them because then I get to kind of stretch that muscle. Because you never know what those guys are going to say. It's like Improv City.